Hey YouTube, how's everybody doing? My name is JC. I want to once again welcome you to the Cuban Redneck Kitchen. Thank you for stopping by. I want to give special thanks as always to those who have subscribed. And if you haven't already done so, man, help me out. Click that little subscription button. It is 100% free and it really helps us out. So with that said, let's talk about today's recipe, and that is Cuban pork. Not only that, but Cuban pork made in the oven. That might be an issue with a lot of people, and some may even consider it to be a sin. Why is that? Well, Cuban pork traditionally is made in a device called a Caja China, or some kind of homemade barbecue grill thing. However, I think that we can agree that many restaurants can really do a really good pork. And that is because there is a trade secret to making Caja China style pork in an oven. If you want to learn about this, stick around. Hey guys, so here are the ingredients that we're gonna need. Obviously we're gonna need a container for the actual baking. We're gonna need an extra container for the marinating. We are starting with an 11-pound pork butt or shoulder in bone. That's a big sucker. That's gonna take a little while to cook, but no big deal. We're gonna need some aluminum foil. We're gonna need some parchment paper. Do not substitute that with wax paper. We have some dry ingredients for our mojo. Notice that I'm using powder. And the reason for that is that I learned in restaurants, when you cook something for 8-10 hours, you never use real garlic. And that is because you run a risk of burning and getting a real bad taste. So the marinade, and for the cooking part of it, we're going to use powders. And for the actual, after it's cooked, we're going to make a second mojo for putting over and putting on the yuca, etc. So it's equal parts salt, pepper, oregano, 1 tablespoon each, and we have garlic powder, onion powder, and cumin. We're also going to be using some olive oil and some sour oranges. A lot of people have issues, getting a hold of these. They're not very popular up north or out west. There are many hacks of how to get around this taste. As close as I've ever gotten to it is using a half a cup of lemon juice, a half a cup of grapefruit juice, and 1 cup of orange juice. That is as close I've gotten to it, although I feel that there is no substitute for this. So with that said, let's prepare our mojo and let's get marinating and get this thing in the oven. As I previously said, for a mojo, what we need is 1 tablespoon equal parts salt, pepper, cumin, oregano, and garlic powder, along with 2 tablespoons of olive or vegetable oil, and 3 sour oranges or about 1 cup of juice. These quantities are for every 6 pounds of pork. Please visit Cubanredneck.com for more details. Mix your ingredients thoroughly, and after stuffing your pork every 2 inches or so, we're going to rub our mojo into it, making sure we get seasoning into every little crevice. Once done, we're going to cover our pork and put it in the fridge for 1 hour. After 1 hour, we're going to take it out and flip it and do it all over again, a total of 4 times, once every hour for 4 hours. After the marinating time has expired, we can start wrapping our pork. What do I mean? Get a long piece of parchment paper about 4 feet long. Place your pork towards one end and start wrapping it tightly in one direction. If you ever purchase meat from a butcher, it is likely they gave you your meat wrapped in paper. This is exactly what we're trying to accomplish here, except that we're using parchment paper and no tape. I feel that I need to repeat this one more time. Please do not use wax paper for this application. After that layer is done, we can go ahead and do our second layer in the opposite direction to cover the exposed ends. Okay, now that our pork is wrapped in paper, we can move to our foil layers. We're going to repeat the same exact process, except that I normally do 3 layers of foil. If you're wondering as to the why, this is the same way the Hawaiians make their pork, except that they use banana leaves. However, I find that using banana leaves is a bit more challenging.
This technique yields about the same results and half the hassle. With our pork fully wrapped, it is time to move it into the center of a preheated 250-degree oven for 1.5 hours per pound. I strongly recommend rotating it halfway through the cooking time, since most residential ovens are known for having hot spots.
Alright guys, it's the next day and pork has been in the oven for about 16 hours. It is time to take it out. However, we are not ready to finish it yet. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it out. We're going to let it rest for about an hour before we open it up so that we can crisp the skin. In the meantime, we're going to make some 𝐬𝐭𝐲𝐿. If you're interested in that recipe, I will be recording that as well, so check it out. And we'll come back in an hour.
About 45 minutes have elapsed, and what we need to do now is cut and roll back the foil so that we can put the pork back in the oven and crisp under the broiler. Note that this is 100% optional, but I personally like crispy, almost burnt edges on my pork. After peeling back the paper and making a little bit of room around it, we're going to brush the top with its own juices, and then proceed to place the pork back in the oven at about 6 to 8 inches from the broiler for 5 minutes. Okay, so as you can see, the outside is nice and crispy while the inside is soft and juicy. One way you know a pork shoulder is perfectly done is if the bone pulls out without any effort. That pretty much wrapped up this video. I hope you enjoy it and at the same time learn how to make some killer Cuban pork. Thank you for watching and stay tuned since we have a lot more recipes coming your way.
Please support this channel by subscribing, liking, and sharing. And don't forget to hit that notification bell. Thank you.